Hi everyone, today I'm here with a video about book series and trilogies which I haven't yet started. Recently I've been looking on my bookshelf and I found that there are a lot of series actually and trilogies that I haven't for some reason started reading, and I feel really bad about it because there are like 8 series and trilogies which I haven't started, and this is not good in terms of my book buying. The fact that I'm buying books, not actually reading them, that's not too good. But I was thinking that if I talked about them today, maybe some of you could persuade me to read them in the comments below by giving some persuasive comments, which of course will be very entertaining to read. So if you want to do that, that would be fantastic. If there's a good series here that you want me to read soon, there are definitely some that I'm planning to read in the near future and some that I'm not sure about when I'm going to read, but whenever I read them, I will read them eventually, and that's always an excuse, I think, with people that read a lot, but I will read them eventually and I'm excited about them all. That is why I bought them. So the first series is called Under the Nether Sky and it is by Veronica Rossi, and this is a book that is fairly popular on BookTube. I think I've heard quite a few BookTubers talking about it, and I got it, I think it was in August or September of last year when I saw it in The Works, which is an amazing cheap bookstore in the UK. Of course, when books are very cheap, I do tend to buy them much more willingly. So this is the first book and I need to read it at some point, so if you want to persuade me, feel free to do that in the comments. The next series is called Penryn and the End of Days and it is by Susan E, and the first book is called Angel Fall, and I have heard a lot more about this, I think. More recently anyway, people have been talking about it, saying very positive things. The fact that it's very scary and intense, dramatic, fantastical, it just sounds like the kind of book I'm going to love. Booktubers that are quite similar with me in their interests tend to enjoy this, or they have enjoyed it. So hopefully I will enjoy it too. Please, please. I really want to enjoy this book, so hopefully I will. The next series is the Uglies series by Scott Westerfeld, and this is a very popular dystopian series which for some reason I haven't read. I think I bought all of the books but I never read them. I actually sort of did start reading this, but I only read like 10 pages, so technically I've not really started the series and I'm just going to count it in this video. I do want to read it, however, because the concept sounds very intriguing and I think the characters are going to be very interesting as well, so it's definitely one that I want to read at some point in the near future. The next series is Maximum Ride by James Patterson. This is one that I don't have a lot to say about really, but I think I got this for my birthday in 2012, so almost 2 years ago now, and that's kind of bad that I've not yet read it, even though I asked for it for my birthday, because I feel bad for the person that bought it because I haven't read it and I can't yet tell them what I thought of it. Although I have heard quite a bit about this series. I think some people say that it gets worse and sometimes how it progresses isn't always fantastic, but I think this first book's meant to be really enjoyable and it's meant to be quite an easy, quick read, so it's one that I maybe will try and read over summer. The next series is one that I don't think I've ever talked about before on BookTube, and it's called the CHERUB series. It's by Robert Muchamore, and the first book is called The Recruit, and I got the first 3 books, I think I got the first 3, and I really enjoyed the idea of them when I was browsing the bookstore, and I bought them and then I never read them. Tends to be a problem with me. As you can see, I buy books and then I don't read them. For some reason, I think the ideas captivate me when I'm looking at the blurb and buying them in the bookstore, and then other books that I get sort of overshadow them and overtake them, and this has really gone to the back of my to-be-read pile, which is a shame because, you know, it sounds good. I don't really know a lot about it, but it's definitely still on my to-be-read pile. The next one is The Maze Runner by James Dashner, which is very, very popular. So many people have read this. My sister's actually read it and she said it was a really good series. She said the pacing was good and the characters were interesting and the plot was intriguing, so hopefully I'll enjoy it as well. She said it wasn't perfect, but I think I trust her opinion. You know, I think I'm going to like it. I think it sounds like the kind of thing I would read more than her. I know recently it's getting a lot more popularity with the film and everything, although it always has been quite a popular trilogy really. A lot of booktubers have always really been talking about it. The final 2 are both high fantasy series, so maybe prepare your thoughts for what they potentially could be. Very popular high fantasy series, just think about them. The first series is called The Lord of the Rings, with the first book in that series being The Fellowship of the Ring. Some of my friends are honestly obsessed with this series. They're always talking about it, they love it so much, they're always praising it. However, some of my other friends are not so positive and they're more critical, they don't enjoy it as much, so I'm not sure where I'm going to stand, and in a way that's what's getting me very excited to read this at some point. I want to know where I stand and how I compare with different people's opinions. I'm definitely quite intimidated by it, I won't lie. The book is quite long and the series seems kind of really intense. but I will read it at some point. I promise I will. The final one is one that I'm sure you're all well aware of now after seeing all the other series I've mentioned. It's one that I have talked about before as being on my to-be-read pile, but I still never read it, and 1 year on I still haven't read this series or started it, and it is A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin, with the first book being A Game of Thrones. This is incredibly popular, and I feel like recently it's got more and more popular. More people are talking about the TV show as well, and you know, I have mixed ideas about reading this book. I feel scared that I'm not going to like it. I think it's a very long book. The series is quite long, and there's just something that's putting me off. I'm not entirely sure really what it is, but there's something that's putting me off, and I haven't yet started this. So if you want me to read this, and I'm guessing probably everyone will, feel free to tell me down below in the comments. So those are 8 of the series and trilogies which I haven't yet started that are on my shelf, which I know is quite a lot. 8 series is, you know, it's a lot, but hopefully I'll get through them at some point, and definitely plan this year to sort of work on trying to start some of these series at least, because I think it is important to start series and learn about new worlds and new characters and explore sort of new ideas. So thank you for watching, everyone, and see you all again in my next video, which is probably going to be about book series and trilogies which I haven't yet finished. So sort of like the second part to this mini series of videos. So see you all then.